Level C1, Lesson 1, Multimedia. Berlusconi. Listening. Listen to the second part of the article. Berlusconi came to power at the time when the conservative political elite were fearful of a growing left-leaning movement they called the Red Peril. Berlusconi represented a clear anti-communist choice that has always played a role in his electoral success. For some, like Lupo Rattazzi, a Harvard-educated airline entrepreneur, who also happens to be a descendant of Italy's seigneurial Agnelli family, Berlusconi played a communist card to his advantage time and again. A majority of Italians do not want to be run by the heirs of the former Communist Party, let alone by the current ragtag army of splintered left-wing groups. Rattazzi told Newsweek about Berlusconi's appeal. Believe me, it's not so much about the bimbos and tax dodging. Still, the harm to Italy's reputation internationally is something that will take years to repair. Personally, I will miss nothing of him. In particular, his absolutely atrocious jokes and the brute figure abroad to which he was continuing to expose this great country. He was destroying the great brand that Italy is, and he cannot be forgiven for that, Rattazzi says. In terms of his willingness to really attack the structural problems of Italy, which require imposing serious sacrifices, he was incapable of doing so because he likes to be known as a seducer, and as such, he simply doesn't like to deliver bad news to anyone. Opposition parliamentarian Andrea Sarubi makes a different point. Before Berlusconi, our governments changed every 9 months or so, he told Newsweek. He brought an era of stability in terms of continuation of the government. He also polarized the country by turning every political debate into the equivalent of a sports competition. You were either with him or against him. He reduced Italy to a mass of soccer fans. Parliament was often like being at a stadium, Sarubi says. But what's incredible is that after 17 years, in the eyes of many Italians, Berlusconi is still one of them, not a politician. He somehow managed to never be considered part of the political caste. In fact, Berlusconi has stayed in power for so long precisely because many Italians believe he is one of them, a leader who says what the voting majority of Italians are thinking. When he complimented Barack Obama on his suntan, for instance, he was echoing a casual racism that is evident across Italy. Italians often use the word furbo, crafty, to describe Berlusconi. Maria Latela, magazine editor and anchorwoman on Italy's Sky 24 news network, is the personal biographer of Berlusconi's second ex-wife, Veronica Lario. She told Newsweek that many Italians admire that trait most. Only the wily get ahead, she says, and many Italians believe, through Berlusconi's example, that the system of using personal connections, friendship, and being cunning is the only one that works. Berlusconi was the solid evidence of his conviction. He made it because he was always a little more crafty than the others, she explained. He stayed so long because he was useful, especially to many Italians like those who don't pay taxes. Maybe Italians will miss the illusion of thinking that there is always a way to solve things. Chicanery clearly did help Berlusconi maintain a high approval rating despite decades of squalid headlines. Few politicians could get away with the type of torty scandals Berlusconi survives with such aplomb. He turns every sex scandal into a sexual feat with a wink and a nudge. And each criminal investigation is yet more proof of what's wrong with Italy's left-wing-led judiciary. He was the alternative to the status quo back in 1994. Now he defines it. Berlusconi is a historical figure irrespective of his many failures, said Andrea Mandelmantel, head of the Italian-American investment bank Advicorp. He changed the way politics were made in Italy. He made fabulous promises that gave hope to a lot of Italians who believed in the future of an Italy that would be run by such a successful entrepreneur instead of a politician.